take a fascist for a friend. And just like owners roam, locked in a cell, shot in the head, or given by a man that he called friend. That's the thing, man. Fascists ain't got no fucking friends. Fascists ain't got no fucking friends. You're only useful till you're more useful dead. Fascists ain't got no fucking friends. You're only useful until you're more useful dead. Tokens will be spent one of these days. But man, it's a hell of a way to go out as the leopards make a meal out of your face. History has shown, time and time again, never mistake a fascist for a friend. Just like Ernst Rome, locked in a cell, shot in the head, order given by a man that he called friend. That's the thing. Fascists ain't got no fucking friends. 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 You're useful until you're more useful dead. You're only useful until you're more useful dead. Just like Ernst Rome, locked in a cell, shot in the goddamn head, order given by a man that he called friend. But fascists ain't got no fucking It's a death cult after all. They got no fucking friends. Fascists ain't got no fucking friends. Fascists, they ain't got no fucking friends. You fascists, you motherfuckers, you ain't got no motherfucking friends. You're useful until you're more useful dead. Fascists ain't got friends. Just like old Ernst Rome. Don't feel bad for Ernst Rome, y'all. He was a Nazi. Oh, his friend's name was Adolf, by the way.
He was great. You know, I was a skeptic at first when he said he was going to make everything great again. But wow, I had no idea just how great it was going to be. I mean, every day it's like, well, how much greater can this get? It's just going to keep getting greater with this sociopathic huckster clown king and his buddies, the autistic billionaire techno-fascist. And somehow or another, he managed to find an actual Jewish Nazi for deputy chief of staff. Guy's really got an eye for talent. And his supporters, I mean, just this army of shills and stooges and grifters, collaborators, unfuckable hate nerds, white nationalists, crypto dorks, whack job Christian fascists. Yeah, and then there's just about like 50 million people who decided, I just like the guy. And actually hate them more than the rest of them, to be honest with you.
Drifter echo chamber where you guys can play songs with bad audio and then say, whoopsie.
He has a personalized poker table. Sam found this out after my appearance that says, it says poker with the boys.
With the boys.
For people that don't remember, this like interview I did with him was just like crazy, and he got really upset at me and really triggered and started screaming in a high-pitched manner.
I can invite you on for a real conversation, and what do? Your show's for neo-Nazis. This is why you guys don't get invited places, because you're not having real conversations.
I don't really care about getting invited places.
Yeah, right. So go live in your grifter echo chamber where you guys can play songs with bad audio and then say, whoopsie.
Whoopsie.
Then the show is over. I want to catch my flight, and I don't feel like hanging out with him because I don't like him.
Yeah, why? Yeah.
But like he doesn't seem to pick up on that, and so he's asked me like, "Do you want to hang out?" And then infamously, he said he invited me for sushi, a tour of the compound, and poker with the boys.
The pounding.
I don't understand the mentality of these people. I don't like you. Like I'm here to debate you because I think your ideas are bad, and you're creating a misinformation kind of ecosystem that is leading people down right-wing rabbit holes. I mean, he's in a hole into the incel thing. Like,
you know why? You know what's going on there is because he doesn't really believe any of the shit he's
Right, he found a game.
But you
when
do.
the show's
But I
over,
do.
the character goes to
Right, and that's where, and there's so many people like that. I mean, you would be shocked, like the amount of when the cameras go off. People have said this, that Charlie Kirk was like this, like that he was very nice interpersonally, but he goes out there and it's this performance. It's like, no, I'm here because I care about these things. And so when I rejected that offer, that's when he called me a pedophile.
He called me a pedophile too. I don't know if you saw that one. That was fun.
But I couldn't understand why he wanted to have sushi and play poker with the pedophile. Like, when did he figure out I was the pedophile? Right?
Right.
Whoopsie.
I declare this fat-worthy. I declare this fat-worthy. I declare this fat-worthy.
Hello. How's it going? Can y'all hear me? I think Dane was eaten by the guru. We told him it was dangerous to go alone.
Can you hear me? Hello?
I can hear you now. Yeah, hi. You're alive.
Cool. I couldn't hear you, and I was like
Weird.
trying to figure out what's going on there. All right. Can't hear Dane, can't hear Morgan. I think we're good now.
I think we've sorted it out. Unfortunately, Bob has had some family emergencies. He will not be with us physically tonight, but he is with us in chat.
In chat, which is, I guess, the closest thing to spiritually that we have. You know, that we can prove it exists.
His voice.
We can prove it exists. Yeah. So anyway, there's been times when we've had FAP discussions, topics for the FAP that, like, to be honest, sometimes it's like, this maybe kind of just barely falls in under the original pitch of the podcast, which was to talk about, moral panic. And then it kind of broadened a little bit to talk about, things that just generally people being against things that are good and stuff like that. And, we're adapting. This one, though, I think falls right under that initial, initial thing, because this is a current event story, which we first didn't want to do, but we're doing now. But it's one that involves a very, very fake, like, who knows how much this has had an influence on things. Probably
an outside, yeah.
And that is that MAGA influencers on Twitter, what some people call X for some reason.
I don't know why.
It is there's large accounts, like popular, lots of well-known, retweeted on a regular basis accounts, have been shown to not be American. And we're going to look at some of that and talk about the ramifications of that, and what the ins and outs and what have yous. And and we're going to talk about Nick Fuentes a little bit. We've kind of danced around the idea of talking about him a little bit, but it's becoming kind of clear that I think you're going to end up being more right than I thought you would be on this in our big conflict we had, Morgan.
Yeah, the fat battle.
Yeah, because he's in his attempt to broaden his, or grow his audience in this opportune moment post Charlie Kirk murder, and while he's got a little bit of spotlight on him, I think he might have made a mistake by trying to appeal to the, to more moderates and even liberals and stuff. Because he said some stuff that has got his more hardcore fan base, doing the thing that you would think they would have done a long time ago and saying, you're Mexican, you can't, like, because he tried to appeal to, anybody, basically. If you were born here, it doesn't matter, what color you are or whatever. If you're born in America, you're American, and we want you. And that was not a good move with some of his fans, I think. So,
yeah.
It's all arbitrary. It's the whole point of it.
It really is.
How you doing, Morgan?
I am living the dream. You know what? I am glad to be here physically in the United States of America. I don't have to pretend to be anywhere else.
Well, you notice that I haven't been on camera for a while. Maybe
Dane.
I'm somewhere else.
Dane was the bot among us.
No, my camera came unplugged, and then I've got to unplug it to plug in one of my hard drives that I use on a regular basis. So I just got tired of like switching back and forth.
That's very.
I don't think anybody needs to see me anyway. Anyways, yeah, Bob won't be with us for a little while. Our thoughts are with Bob, and he's the man. I just want to say, as a side note, Bob showed up one day and did, we invited him to do an episode or two, and man, he just never left.
You just kept inviting him. Yeah, I just kind of,
despite all of the hints and the very passive aggressive stuff, and it's like, but I'm glad he didn't.
Those were outright threats. I mean, the things you threatened to do to his feet are.
He shows up and he's with bells on, so to speak. He doesn't actually have bells on. I'd probably get pretty annoyed if he did that. But like, he shows up and he's got a good attitude, and he puts in the work, and we don't even pay him because we don't get paid. So nobody gets paid. And yeah, I just want to say I appreciate that, Bob. And yeah, seats warm when you get back. For you. Anyway.
Hopefully you're a benign tumor.
So real quick, I wanted to run this by you. So you know about the Ultimate Universe? I know you do.
Yeah.
The way the maker has the world set up in that Ultimate Universe, where it's, so basically they have the people that actually run the world.
Yeah.
But have the nation states or whatnot, but they decide every once in a while, or every so often, they decide, oh, now it's your turn to be the bad guy for a while.
Right.
And so I think most recently was it the Hulk's nation, or was it the Rasputins? I don't remember.
I think. Oh God, it's been a while since that. Like,
Maker determined that you have to have a conflict in order to keep the populace, generally docile.
Or was it the stuff with the Moon Knights? It might have been the stuff.
It might be that. I think it is maybe that. Yeah. So yeah, the Maker, being the genius, evil Reed Richards that he is, he's like, well, I think they said they tried to do it without doing this at first, maybe, but it didn't work.
Yeah.
So then they switched to, okay, we're gonna have a bad guy at all times, and you just got to kind of rotate your bad guys.
Right.
And that way you've always got a conflict for the people to focus on, and they don't focus on the system itself being fucked up. So this came across my feed the other day, my YouTube's, and sounded familiar.
Rotating villain theory of the Democratic Party is true, and the Democrats have basically just confirmed that it is indeed true, that the implications are staggering. The rotating villains theory is this idea that the Democratic Party basically sabotages its own progress, that it doesn't really want to see some of the things that it advocates for get implemented. And the theory holds that congressional Democrats basically designate people to break with the party so that they just meet the number of people necessary to make sure that whatever it is that the base wants to happen doesn't happen. The Kirsten Sinemas and Joe Manchins of Congress, they're not acting independently because they have like a strong moral stance on these things. They are carrying out the will of the party. If this is true, and Tim Kaine all but explicitly stated that it was, the Democrats are not just complicit or inept or stupid. They are actively orchestrating the continued subjugation of the working class. Resisting the Republicans and building a better world would actually not be that difficult. We just need a party that actually wants to do these things instead of sabotaging itself.
So,
I mean, just most recently, think about Biden's term, and we did not get the bill that he originally allegedly wanted to get passed. We got the Inflation Reduction Act. Woo!
Right.
but if it would have been passed the way that he originally pitched it, it would have been the most substantial, beneficial thing for general citizens since the New Deal.
Yeah. So I think that let me try to break this down into words. Okay, got it. This is how the system appears because the Democrat leadership is bought and paid for, right? And there are Democrats who are more bought and paid for, your Joe Manchins, your Kristen Cinemas, right? That that's their job. Joe Lieberman, to answer,
he was originally a Democrat.
He was originally a Democrat. He became an independent somewhere in between the ACA process starting and I want to say 2012. Somewhere in those 4 years, I forget exactly where, but it's you don't need to control the whole party. I think that's the one where this nettles me. It is that you don't need to control the whole party to be controlled opposition.
It only takes one.
It just takes a few people, right? And we see, if you look at, and this is just counting donors that donate publicly rather than things like donating to super PACs, which is complete dark money. Yeah. We see that these billionaire corporations, these billionaires and these multinational corporations donate to candidates of both parties, right? There are people in both parties that are bought and paid for, and the base in both parties don't like that, right? They don't like the average Republican doesn't like that in the same way. Well, maybe for different reasons, but they
definitely different reasons.
Yeah, for a lot of them,
that's essentially what the farther right is doing right now is trying to pick up the people that are pissed off that that Trump is just so loyal to Israel,
right?
And it's
So I think that right, exactly. The reasons are different, but they're both pissed about it, and so or both factions are pissed about it. But so I think where this gives way to conspiratorial thinking, which is something I abhor. Is that it doesn't even have to be the whole party for this to be controlled opposition, because I think there is a level of that, but I think it takes half a dozen people to do it, right?
The theory presumes that actually most of the Democrats want to do the thing,
right?
Which we know is not true.
Right.
Israel is an example. Why would there be more Democratic lawmakers calling for, we got to stop supporting Israel with this genocide, then, and then you have maybe the 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever that would vote against whatever. And that would prove the theory to a degree.
Right.
It's just not that.
Yeah. And I also think that the party is complicated, especially the Democratic Party. I think the Republican Party is more homogenous, which makes sense given that their sole platform is being homogenous.
Yeah. It's amazing how easy it is to get on page with that.
Right. Yeah. We want only us. Okay.
So look, we don't want anything to ever be better or different or outside of these very specific guidelines. So anybody oppose that? Yes.
Right.
You're not
we'll do worse. We will make it worse though, so that it doesn't get better.
Yeah. I mean, there's Fetterman, who knows what his
Fetterman's an interesting example because I think before the accident and after, it's hard to say a stroke.
It's hard to say that a stroke caused that, right? I mean, it just seems like something else came into the picture.
There's a distinction before and after. How much of that is the stroke and how much of it isn't is entirely up for debate. But I'm much as I want him out of office and a better Democrat in his position, which is a really low bar, I am less critical of him because there was a medical complication of the situation, though that means he should just resign.
What actually is the deal is that this is just who he was always gonna be, and now because it's the stroke, he can't really fake it anymore.
He can't fake it. That's possible too. Yeah.
That just came to mind. Anyway,
so
maybe we'll find out.
Here is why channel member Mr. Condor, I disagree with you entirely, and here is why.
It's just McLeod.
Oh, hi, you have a different name now. Cool. He writes that no, they all need to be checked out, and the party needs to be heavily reformed. If not, the actual progressive leftist socialist sector of the Democratic Party needs to rig up and form a new party. If they did that, they would wither and die.
So you mean like 3 people? I mean, if you want to throw social in there,
it doesn't matter. Like whatever that number is small enough to not be able to get the votes they need to, right? Like that's the unfortunate necessity of the 2-party system as it is now is that there's just not the infrastructure, right? This is the Libertarian Party all over again. And they're on the right, more compared to progressives, at least. That's a party of true believers, but they don't have the infrastructure because the Democratic Party's infrastructure is 200 years old. The Republican Party's infrastructure is 150 years old.
Really?
That matters.
Oh,
yeah. And that you can't just throw that away easily. And it sucks because, God, in my heart of hearts, I wish you could do that. But you can't. You have to
also
vote them out. You have to primary them and take over the party.
To me, when I see a comment like that, I'm like, yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously we wish that could be the case, but like, I feel like maybe McLeod, Mr. Condor, or whatever, that maybe you are not taking a trip outside your algorithm bubble every once in a while to kind of see what the rest of people think.
Yeah.
And it's pretty it can fuck you up to be that unaware of how many people actually don't want a lot of the same, or at least aren't even aware of certain potential policies or whatever. But like, yeah, most people are generally just wanting to
I think Sketchy has it. I think and I'm going to rephrase what Sketchy has said because Sketchy frames it in the past tense, and I think that what needs to happen now is this. So that there needs to be a grassroots infrastructure of leftists, left-leaning people, starting on the state level. And I'm going to go a step further and starting on the local level. The Republican movement, post Roe versus Wade, built up from your library and your school board and your town council up. And we need that on the progressive left. It doesn't matter. And I'm going to use trans law because I know it. So much of the almost all of the anti-trans laws we have are on the state and local level. Nationally, there's almost nothing. There's some executive orders.
Go ahead. Am I audible? Or? Oh,
I can hear you. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
That sentiment was first kind of like propagated throughout, starting with like school boards and shit like that, where that's why it was so effective, because the fear was injected directly into parents about their kids being trans and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So it needs to be at that local level. And if you want to go back to what McLeod said, to get a party of progressive leftists and socialists, you need those on your school boards. You need those on your town councils. You need those on, to be alders and city attorneys and treasurers.
Those people constituents, those people, local people and stuff, that there's some people that don't even pay, that they're actually heavily involved with these types of politics. Parents, really, families, and those people are the ones that you have to appeal to get to vote for these progressive candidates that you're talking about. So we can have all the candidates we want. We can have, like you're saying, you started off saying this, I think, but basically we can have all the, progressives, even socialist candidates, and it won't matter a whole lot if we can't get people to actually vote for them. Right.
But if your neighbor, if the person you vote for school board, and you're a parent, right? You have kids in school, or you have a family member who has kids in school in your district, and this person you elected to school board who you like tells you, hey, you know what? You should vote for this candidate. You're more likely to vote for them. That's how that works. That's why that's important. That's why the right has put all of this money and effort into that, in addition to them just wanting to hurt children, right? And not just trans children, but all of this stuff affects library funding and public school funding. It's a justification for school choice programs, which is just money laundering to churches.
Yep.
And so if you want to build that progressive party, I mean this sincerely, run for school board.
Yeah.
If you can, do it. Or find someone who is a progressive running for school board who has a ground game and volunteer.
Just kind of
that's a better idea.
Using I don't know, just complaining about the state of national politics online is not really doing anything except, distracting yourself, and that's about it.
Well, I think that right. This is a huge school boards control book banning. Absolutely. But I think that brings us to our tonight's main topic.
Yeah. Which is that holy shit, this is hilarious. It's funny.
All right, so I'm gonna show the article I found first. I'm gonna pop that bad boy up on screen.
Is that okay? I found it on. I got a news break. That's not where you found it, I'm sure.
I found it on Daily Beast first, but window.
I got you. If you want to pull it up. I
think
it's the same article, just kind of. Yeah, it is.
All right. So, top mega influencers accidentally unmasked as foreign trolls.
Yikes.
So, a new feature on Elon Musk's X has given deeper insight to the America First. Let's call it a movement.
Hey, don't doubt, just because they're not Americans doesn't mean that they don't care about America first. Okay?
Yeah.
That's where they're getting their money from, goddammit.
Yeah, right, exactly. They're getting their money from Elon Musk, because how this works, if you don't know, is because Twitter, under Musk, pays people. So if you want to buy Twitter Premium or whatever it is to get your blue check mark, you want to buy that.
Remember when that used to mean that you were just an authentic account?
You were an authentic account, right? It was exactly. You had to submit documents to get a blue check, right?
Yep.
To prove.
And that was to make sure you were not using this account and irresponsibly, like in some kind of crazy way or whatever, and then
or posing to be someone you're not, or from somewhere you're not. Weird.
Yeah. So what did they enacted some new thing that I guess Musk. So this is what I think happened here, because why would Musk do this, other than the fact that he is a true believer? He thinks the shit that he actually thinks that he's going to expose corruption or whatever the fuck, because he's a moron.
Right.
He doesn't realize
he's high on his own supply of ketamine.
Yep. He is the subject of grifts. Like, he is the fucking target of these grifters in a large way. So whenever they implemented this new change that shows you, it's supposed to be a transparency thing, so people see that where you're from, and how long has your account been active, and so how often have you changed your name, that kind of stuff, which I could actually see being beneficial to some degree. It seems a little weird, like you're trying a little bit too hard to prove something, but he did. And for a little while, go ahead,
I think as far as independently of Twitter and the people revealed, I think having a broad, because this doesn't even go country by country with the region that it is in. It's usually like Eastern Europe, Southeast Asia, maybe if it's a bigger place, India, right? That's not a terrible system, just so you know that the person you're interacting with online is from where they say they're from at a minimum. That's not it's a huge invasion of privacy, but I see some utility in it. And we saw why that hasn't been done so far until now. And thanks, Mr. Musk. I really appreciate this, because it's funny.
Well, I think it's important maybe to show some of the accounts that we're talking about, because that's really where the comedy's at. So here is an account called MAGA Nation. Can I open this? MAGA Nation. Look at this patriotic motherfucker right here.
Got Trump at a rally, has this big America thing. MAGA Nation, they're verified. They got their little blue check right there.
400,000 followers.
400,000 followers.
They got verified
last year.
A year ago. Yeah, crazy.
Verified immediately last year. They're MAGA. In an Eastern European country that is not a member of the EU.
Oof.
Wait a minute. MAGA. America First. Patriot.
It's been a while since I've done geographical stuff, but I'm pretty sure America's not in Eastern Europe, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna let's look at a map of the world. Well,
no, it's he actually is American, so but
so
we can watch the clip the other day from him getting shut down by Trump while Trump was defending his
so spicy. So here is Eastern Europe. We'll zoom in a little bit. This is so we have Europe here, right? And here's the eastern part of it.
And they specifically said not EU.
Not EU.
Huh.
And then here, over here on this left half of the map, west of that, quite a bit with an ocean in the middle.
It's where the drop off is, where you fall off the earth.
This map is wrong. Northern Pacific Ocean, Southern Atlantic Ocean. There's a typo.
What the fuck? That's fucking funny.
That's hilarious. Oh my god.
Oh, well, let's not use that one.
Yeah, we gotta find a new map. I'm fucking up my whole thing here. All right.
MAGA person. Did Trump make this? Does it say Gulf of fucking America?
Yeah. No, it doesn't, weirdly. Also, Cuba's fucking huge on this map. So, anyways, but America's not in Eastern Europe, and Eastern Europe is not.
So the reason that it would say that it's actually distinguishing that it's not EU, I think, this is my guess anyway, is that because it's relevant in the sense that there's a lot more anti-EU and anti-Western propaganda that's probably propagates in non-EU parts of Europe. Is that right to assume?
Yeah, it looks like, and this isn't just even Eastern Europe. We have an Ivanka Trump account here.
Big account.
Ivanka Trump News.
1 million followers.
1 million followers. Gained breaking news daily. No affiliations with Ivanka Trump. Turn on notifications. DM for collabs. Biggest Ivanka News fan page on X with a little American flag. Joined September 2010. They've changed their username 11 times. They've been verified since last August.
That's kind of notable, right? That they were been on for that long and they didn't get verified until you could get verified by paying.
Yeah. Funny how that works. And where are they? Where are they? They're in Nigeria.
Oof.
Literal Nigerian, like Nigerian prince shit, right? Like this is the home of the Nigerian prince scam.
And this is my favorite quote is when we're right under that picture. It was the first line under that one we're just looking at. Yeah. This is total Armageddon for the online right, wrote law student and left-wing influencer Micah Irfin. It's looking like half of their large accounts were foreigners posing as Americans all along. Half. Yikes. So I actually remember whenever it was revealed that was it 15 to 17% of the Snyder army online was bots a few years ago. And I remember saying then that there's no way to know, but I'm willing to bet that a good bit, because these aren't, I guess, bots necessarily, because they actually do say things that they might
There's allegedly a human being associated with these accounts.
But I remember saying that, it just goes to show that you never know how many people in MAGA or even in left accounts or whatever, just aren't a real person or somebody that's trying to influence. And I remember somebody in chat being kind of pushing back against the idea that, it's not like they change people's minds or they influence them. No, not like.
Yeah, they do.
You're thinking that I'm saying that one individual account is going to change your mind. No, but if you think that getting online and then being surrounded by people who are just huffing your farts and feeding them back to you, and telling you everything that you want to hear and approving you for thinking that's good or whatever the fuck, all day long, every day. If you think that doesn't affect you, you're fucking naive. Right. It's like it affects everybody, and that's what I was saying.
Yeah. Well, on top of that, even if you're not MAGA adjacent, right? If you're not leaning that way already, if you are a diehard lefty and your social media feed is just choked with the biggest amounts of endless right-wing bile, that's demoralizing, right? It's isolating and makes it hard for you to find community.
Yep. By the way, Danny Boy, yes, I think we're going to maybe talk about that a bit toward the end.
Yeah, I hope we can talk about it a little bit.
I'm quite excited to discuss that.
Yeah. So, and then, on top of this...
quickly,
go ahead.
Well, I was going to say that the feature that was rolled out was called the About This Account feature.
Yep.
And that stayed up for a few hours, and then it just went away suddenly without explanation. And then, apparently they brought it back. It's back now, but it seems to have been, I don't know if any of those counts, you can still see that or what. I haven't checked myself, but
yeah, I've been a chance to verify.
One thing I did see though, and this is kind of an aside, but it has to do with this directly, is apparently, what was it? Some American account, like government account, I think it was. You know what? I'm going to look it up and find what I'm looking up before I say anything about it. So, well, because Nazis ain't got no friends. Fascists ain't got no friends. They have Twitter mutuals,
right?
But they don't really have any actual friends.
Okay, so here is the rub. I am not on Twitter. I deleted my account over a year ago at this point. There are people who share their work professionally on social media, and Twitter still is, by the numbers, a place to do that. Now, why you have, I think one of my favorite was you had like Taylor Lorenz and ContraPoints getting in a fight on Twitter. And it's like, why are you like you two? I get why you're on there, like posting your personal stuff. Why are you like
doing this on there?
Ladies take that to DMs.
Right. Well, so I found what I was looking for, and it's actually kind of, I was going to preface this with a bunch of like, hey, this might not even be accurate. I heard it on basically a short form YouTube video, but apparently now NBC News is covering it. So I'm going to go ahead and just talk about it as if this was a thing that legit happened.
Yeah. Here's the NBC News story.
Pull yours off here and do this. So this is an account that, I mean, this just went up an hour ago. This article.
Yep.
New transparency feature, but yeah. And then there's also speculative outrage over where the Department of Homeland Security account was created because it said it was created in Tel Aviv, Israel.
Whoa.
Which is, not cool. Like, why was it just so somebody happened to be on vacation? What the fuck happened there? Like,
whoa.
Yeah. So it goes over the stuff we've already been talking about, right?
Yeah.
Like these accounts right here. We can look at some of those in a minute. But where is it? Yeah, so X users circulated images and videos that allege to show the location field displaying Tel Aviv, Israel for the DHS account. The account information feature abruptly disappeared Friday night, fueling speculation that X had pulled the tool to suppress the DHS controversy. Oh yeah, just that one.
Just that one, yeah, huh?
NBC News did not view the account's location before the feature went away Friday and has not confirmed the authenticity. Okay, so that's still possibly not accurate. It could be a well-timed ruse or something. But the DHS officially responded with a meme-like image of Trump looking stunned, which neither confirmed nor denied. No, this is what happens when you get fucking hucksters and goddamn edgelords in the goddamn fucking White House, man.
Yep.
I can't. Oh, so they did post. They did on Sunday. They followed up with an official denial. I can't believe we have to say this, but this account has only ever been run and operated from the United States. Screenshots are easy to forge, videos easy to manipulate. Thank you for your attention. I mean, that's true.
While true,
it says it's based in Tel Aviv. Not that it's. That's got to be a fucking. That's got to be a fucking some kind of prank, right? Like,
I think that it's on NBC. It makes me think that.
Well, I mean, they said that they did not personally view. They didn't view the account when it said this,
right?
So they're based off of other people saying this, which still leaves room for it to have been faked,
right?
It's still kind of crazy.
It's wild because this is not the only account, and I think one of the things I found doing a bit of research on this is that there are accounts doing the same thing for like to radicalize people to the right in like the UK, where like Scottish independence accounts are being run out of Iran or the Netherlands.
Why would I be? I mean, it's not the case, but I mean, why would I even care? Like, I mean, hey, if you're from Africa, great. I'm glad you're here. I don't understand why that's something that you apologize for. I've met a couple of African people in my life, like directly from Africa people, and they're pretty cool, pretty nice people.
Yeah. It really is. Yeah. Woof. I also think this ties into something we talked about last year, that if Kamala had been elected, maybe would have seen some resolution on it instead of it being, thrown into the memory hole, is all of those right-wing influencers that were getting, money laundered to them by Lauren Chen.
Via Russia, via goddamn RT.
Yeah. Or rather, RT was laundering money to American right-wing influencers via Lauren Chen and her husband.
Fuck yeah. That's great.
Aw.
It means a lot. I mean,
indeed.
It's basically like saying I'm one of them,
You're a Dane and you're a Chad? Wow, you're an international man of mystery.
Well, people from Chad, I think you're a Dane. So, it's like it goes both ways.
I guess so. Oh my
God. Now if you're from South Africa, I mean, you're also welcome unless you're, maybe like a billionaire,
Yeah, I mean,
go fuck off. Don't you have your own fucking platform somewhere, you piece of shit?
Go back to Twitter.
Go back to Twitter. Go back where you came from.
All South African whites come from Twitter now. That's canon.
Yeah. So, there's all that. That's fun. That's fun stuff.
It really is. And this
really
is like...
It's incredible how much not just Trump, but like MAGA itself in the last 3 weeks has just crumbled. Like, I mean, they might be able to cobble themselves together and still be, somewhat, I'm sure they're going to be harmful for a long time to come.
Yeah.
Like, as a unified group of people with a leader who holds power in his hand, no, they're not that anymore. It started with the Charlie Kirk murder and everything post that, the fallout, because the thing is, when you develop everything based on a fucking hierarchy, turns out if you pluck something out of the middle of that hierarchy, it kind of throws things in chaos. And so you got Charlie Kirk off the board, right? And then you got all the people that want to take over his space, to take over his audience.
Right. I think you had two things happen with the Charlie Kirk shooting. I think, interestingly enough, Charlie Kirk's actual murder is only a catalyst rather than like he himself was like an intentional force of will holding everything together.
No, I don't think it's that. I think it's just because they have
stone in the pond.
The ecosystem was what it was, and it put Trump into power, put him, things the way they were, and then now that he's in power, the ecosystem kind of gets bored, I think, and not to mention all of the blowback of things that they create for themselves, and we don't know anything about Tyler Robinson still, really don't. But
no, we really don't.
That's another thing we could talk about is the disappearing evidence.
Should.
In this case.
Yeah.
Apparently,
yeah, we definitely should talk about that. I haven't heard about that.
That's another thing. Marjorie Taylor Greene resigning. I think that she's gonna be on the specific grift for a while. She's doing she basically realized that you can do two things. You can go harder on, to the right as far as like the things you're saying and the performative, nature of being on the right, or you can kind of appeal to the people that they don't love the harsh tones and the name calling and stuff, but they might be more amenable to her politics if she just isn't such a bitch about it. I think that's what she's doing.
I have a slightly more cynical take.
Okay.
She on January 3rd, she will have served in Congress 5 years, which makes her fully vested for a pension. And I think that she's not going to climb the hierarchy of the right any further. I think the Jewish space laser lady has hit her pinnacle, especially because she's on the outs with Trump over the Epstein stuff and has been for a while. And so why not take your ball and go home, right? Why not cut, because Johnson has cut her out of anything that resembles a position of authority as far as like committee leaderships or anything. A lot of the like rank and file don't like her because of the stunt she pulled to get Johnson to be speaker in the first place. I think she's a bad person, but bad people can be lazy. Take the money and run.
So just to kind of put a cap on this thing here, it's weird, man. It is weird that happened in the first place, if it did happen. So yeah, X responded to it basically saying that the account creation was incorrect on a small subset of old accounts due to IP ranges changing over time. I still don't see why that would put the DHS specifically in Tel Aviv.
How many of these were created in 2024 that we pulled up? Like it's a fair number of these articles that are accounts made in the last year or two.
Yeah. So then, let's see. Eventually, they said that location was not available on any gray check government account at any point. In response to one screen recording, which X now labeled as manipulated media. So there's a screen recording of apparently this out there that they have said is not real. It's not a real thing. Furthermore, the DHS has only shown IPs from the United States since account creation. As of Sunday morning, however, the location information is available again on the DHS account. This time it reads United States, but DHS appears to be the only gray check government account that displays the location where it's based, as other government accounts now display only their dates of account creation and account verification, which, maybe they're doing that to be like, no, look, we just want you to see that it's from the U.S. But that kind of just makes it look a little bit worse whenever it's the only one. Right?
Yeah, it's worse. It's way worse. Because what you didn't fix you patched it. You created a patch that says, oh, change the location for here so that we can show everyone it doesn't say what you'd said before and that was manipulated. And then they just went to hide all the other ones.
Yeah. Well, we don't know what the other ones say. We better hide those real quick.
Right. Let's just hide them all quick, right? Because I'm sure most of them, if not all, were created in the United States.
I mean, I don't think anybody needed that proven. I think that the world has a right-wing problem right now, man.
The world,
The entire world is kind of bombarded with this shit because it turns out mega rich people that don't want to ever have to not be quite as rich and they only want to get richer, they just stir up shit everywhere. I mean, Musk has literally been involved with elections in Europe and stuff.
Germany and some other places as well. Yeah. The UK. Yeah, I read the fascism patch notes. You would be surprised how many slurs you can fit into patch notes, but the fascists, they can't help themselves.
I want to point out, I just want to say to any, potential fascists watching or whatever, like,
hey.
maybe don't describe yourself as that. Okay, that's fine. If you're for MAGA, you're still supporting this stuff. I mean, cringe, dude, cringe. I just want to say, like, ask yourself, be honest with yourself. How much have you just forsaken any kind of values that you once had just so that you could stay in lockstep with the party? Just so that you could stay, up to date with whatever Trump is saying this week that might contradict something from a year ago or whatever, right? Like, you've done it. And you probably made mental note of it, or at least something comes to mind whenever I mention it, where at some point you consciously thought, fuck, I used to think this, but I can't think that anymore, right? Because look how fucking flimsy this shit is. Trump is completely he's basically going to have the longest lame duck presidency ever.
Right.
And I'm sure he might get a little bit of wind in him again and kind of do some little fashy things here and there. But they're people that were worried 3 months ago, 2 months ago about the direction of this administration, we're breathing a lot easier right now.
It's the air's a little lighter.
Because it's just become clear that he can't sustain it. They barely eked out a win, and then what lasted 10 months before things just started completely falling apart. And they within that amount of time they did a lot of shit. They started to do a lot of things. About half of it worked to a degree, about half of it didn't. In order to shore up the numbers that for immigration that they promised they were going to give, they had to start going to people's literal fucking asylum court hearings where they were actually doing things by the book.
Yeah,
by law, and they started arresting those people just so
Right.
they could fucking trick you into thinking that they were getting all these fucking illegal immigrants off the street. They had to
Yeah.
fucking go get dishwashers and fucking people that were doing work that you're probably too lazy to do.
It's notable that like ICE isn't like in Chicago. They're not raiding up territory with a gang problem. They're not going after people who are here illegally there, right? They're in the burbs.
And Trump is still using phrases like transgender for everyone.
Yeah.
That's such you have to realize how fucking absurd and pointless the whole thing is whenever he doesn't even take it that serious. He doesn't even know what he's saying, I'm sure. He just somebody told him that and he's like, "Oh, that's a scary phrase. I'm going to keep saying that." What the fuck does that mean?
Here's what happened. In 2024, he was told 29 Republican states have passed these laws, and that is their singular focus. And so he talks about it off the cliff notes. And when they said to him in 2025 or 2020, late 2024 that, hey, the Kamala's for they, them ad is doing well, just keep on that.
Well, they spent more money on just that. Like most of their fucking money for that month, I think it was, most of their campaign money went into anti-trans propaganda, anti-trans material for their campaign. Despite the fact that, what is it, 1% roughly of the population?
Between 1% and 3%, yeah.
You've been hoodwinked, man. You've been fucking hoodwinked, and you've given up so much of yourself and probably time and maybe even, I'm sure, to some degree, relationships, family, loved ones have been fractured because of this shit. Because it's happened to virtually everybody knows at least one person that's kind of become a different and sadder person because of this shit.
Well, it's speaking personally as a trans person who has lost family members. Well, I haven't lost them. They have made themselves such that they are not welcome in my life because they have done things like threaten to kill me. I don't hate that person. I don't want anything bad to happen to them. They're the one who's mad about me, right? I have to, make sure they don't show up, right? Like, it was traumatizing for sure, but like, I hope to live a long, happy life. They're the one who's obsessing and stewing. They're the one who is still saying things today. Odds are, you don't know a lot of trans people. Go about your business. Carry on.
That's why they, there's things like the fandom, anti-fandom content that we cover in other contexts is so focused on this shit because they don't want you to, they don't want you to know anybody, to think anything about people, these people that are different than you as being people.
Right.
They don't want you to realize that you have far, far more in common than you don't.
Yeah.
And that most of the things that they're worried about, you're worried about. They're worried about they're paying too much for this and that. They're worried about well, not climate change because you probably swallowed that fucking propaganda
a while ago, yeah.
But yeah, just generally living a day-to-day life that isn't being taxed into oblivion, that allows you to not have to work 2-3 jobs just to make ends meet, that allows you to own a home maybe one day.
Yeah.
All that's fucking slipped out from our fingers in our generation. But I wanted to show just some examples of what I mean about like people, abandoning some position or thing that they said before to just now because it's what the party's doing. Oh, I got to change. So here's some of that. I don't think that's really Charlie Kirk. I don't think. Maybe it is. It's got the Turning Point USA thing there. I don't know.
Oh, I think that actually was because he was part of the band TikTok crew.
Just 2 years, almost exactly.
Yeah.
Is this guy?
Weird how that works.
Epstein files come tomorrow. Any living people on that list should immediately be jailed. Fast forward a few months. Being in the Epstein files.
Literally a few months. Like it's the February to July. So what, 5 months? Almost to the day?
Yeah. Here's Trump said he'll declassify the Epstein tapes if reelected. Oh boy, there's some powerful people who aren't going to like to hear that. I never cared about the Epstein files during the campaign, and I don't care about them now.
Right. Just that's the bubble. That's living on the right.
The Epstein issue isn't about protecting children. Yes. The Epstein files are important, but are low on the list of what most Americans care about. That's just the truth.
The polling says otherwise, brother.
Yeah, your previous self says that's otherwise.
Yeah. So I'm going to disagree with him. I don't think that the Epstein issue is about protecting children, because I fundamentally believe that no one on the right cares about protecting children. They care about protecting pedophiles and abusing children. And that just plays out in their patterns of behavior.
It was about taking down their who they believe to be only their enemies among the people that would be implicated.
But what the Epstein story is about, and I think why it became a cultural phenomena, both on the left and the right, is it is a list of powerful people who did heinous crimes that have gotten away with it.
Yeah.
It's about power. It's about powerful, wealthy people who are immune to the law.
And the people that somehow still think that, like, you know, that saying, oh, you know, probably Bill Clinton and other people, you know, like, okay, man, I hope whoever is in there, I'm cool with it. You know what I mean? Like, I want them fucking, if there's indication that they have done some crime, I want them prosecuted for that crime. And that is the difference between us and them, is that y'all are in a cult and you're worried about protecting one guy and maybe few of his cronies around him or whatever, but generally just the one guy and the movement. And whereas we want things applied evenly across, we want all these rich motherfuckers that have gotten away with it. I don't care who they are. If I don't care if I voted for their fucking wife in the past, I want them gone. You know,
if we were in 1995 and on a cable access show, because it's the equivalent of a streaming show in 1995. And the Epstein files broke when Clinton was president, and if he was on those files and he was doing things to kids, I would want him in a deep dark hole forever. In the same way, if he is on them in 2025, I want him in a deep dark hole forever. Can you say the same about Trump? If you are on the right, if you're a Trump supporter, if you voted for Trump, if he's on that list, if he's all up and down Epstein's emails about what he knows and what he may or may not have done, do you think that if him and Bill Clinton did the same things, that he should be out and Clinton should be in that deep dark hole? Because that's kind of fucked, man. I want all of them in the hole.
It means you don't actually have any standards. You don't actually have any principles, and you don't have any morals even. You know, like that's it's a moral issue.
Oh, it's worse than that.
Yeah.
They have standards. The standards is, I like my guy. That's the standard.
Well, if it wasn't for double standards, they'd have no standards.
Basically, it's I want my guy. I don't care about children. I don't care about Epstein. I want Bill Clinton to lose, and I want Trump to win. Now, you're right. They don't have morals. They are utterly amoral actors.
I mean, for one thing, that's weird. Like Tom Hanks, I don't think has been harassed to any degree that really matters. I mean, people make content about him. I mean, he's not the only one. There are people.
He is not the only one. A lot of people have.
Yeah, I think Tom Hanks. I think he's going to be fine. To be honest, I don't think he's.
Yeah, he can mercifully afford security, and he's probably out of the limelight these days. So
I mean, somebody at that level doesn't operate their own social media and shit anyway. You know, so
I hope not. I don't want to operate my own social media.
We're here, maybe. Let's see. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Cool.
Beans.
Wait. Oh, good. Here's one. Trump's administration tells allies it will not get involved in a war against Iran unless Iran attacks Americans. Good, not our war. A week later, I say with Trump.
1 week later, not even 4 days. No, 6 days. 6 days later, this guy is like, I would like to do a war with Iran.
I call bullshit on his name being Eagle Man. I just don't think that's true.
What is with guys with eagle in their name being absolute clowns?
Yeah, you'd think they'd be Clown Man if they were gonna. Okay. So yeah, there's that, and then there's Nick Fuentes is I think he's got some role to play. He might not be. I think what might happen is that his movement will get co-opted by somebody else.
Yeah, I think his movement is going to remain. I mean, I think it already is a big part of the Republican establishment. I think as far as like we see the group chats from a lot of these young Republican groups and a lot of the like Republican staffers that are very much, if not gripers, certainly griper adjacent.
Well, yeah, that kind of mentality. Because let's think about what is a groper really. What was a groper before? It was the outer edge of the vilest shit that the party on the right believed.
Yeah.
It was the ones that they were willing to, whereas everybody on the right was generally wanting to trigger libs, and they'd say some really potentially offensive, racist, bigoted shit to do it. These guys basically that was too tame for them. Right. And then now, because they've all been in this ecosystem for years now, and they've been, feeding on each other being that way. And in order to, because it's all just, a lot of it is a grift, and you have to level up in order to compete in a capitalist economy. And so they've had to level up their bigotry and whatnot. And so just over time, they've all just kind of become the same thing that groupers were before.
Yeah.
Or at least they're not offended by it and are willing to partner with it to some degree.
Well, it's been normalized, right? It's the same thing with QAnon, right? Is the positions that were QAnon in 2017 are just called the Republican platform in 2025.
And that's, to a degree, that's like just the natural way of things almost, because I mean, the same thing could be said, remove the specifics of the politics, but like things that are very left wing will eventually, in some cases, become just what the mainstream party advocates for, right?
Yeah.
On a long enough timeline, hopefully, for fuck's sake. That's what's supposed to happen. That's kind of why we've been so pissed off at the Democratic Party, is like, we understand that some of these things, you got to start advocating for them down, pretty far down the road, so that you can get it mainstreamed later on. For example, like saying defund the police. One thing was a bad slogan.
Yeah.
But anyway. Oh shit. Ray Frederick. Hey man. Been a while since I've gotten a comment like this, so I appreciate hearing that. Former Nerdrotic Mauler fan, been binging your content. You guys are the best. Well, we try. We try. If nothing else, we just hope to show you that those guys are not the best. No. And that you should kind of branch out. But good to know that you've gotten out of that. I'd love to know if you want to send me an email, actualphantom@gmail.com, if you feel like it. Explain what it is that kind of got you to wise to those guys or whatever. I always like to hear that kind of thing. And yeah, but otherwise, happy holiday, Thanksgiving, if you celebrate that, and hope you stick around.
Yeah.
Be sure to like and subscribe. Here's this.
Cuts pay for themselves. No. If rich people give money to poor people, does it make society as a whole more rich or more poor?
Mostly richer.
Why do Republicans only care about deficits and debt when they're not in power?
They don't care about deficits and debt. They care about trying to prevent Democrats from spending money on helping people.
What's more important for economists? Being respected by other economists or being right?
Oh, some of both. I'm afraid. We're human beings.
Nassim Taleb says you are a BS vendor that will not deadlift. Will you deadlift against him?
It doesn't seem to me to be a really good way to settle intellectual arguments.
I mean, what's really great about deadlifting is you can do a 1 rep max. You're going to take 4 to 5 minutes off before you get to the next set. Have it out.
No.
Then get back to it. What is the best measure of whether an economy is working? Justice or efficiency?
Oh, I would say neither. I mean, economies don't have to be, certainly efficiency is not enough. You can have an efficient economy where all the money goes to one person. But justice, you can have a very just but also very poor economy. The measure of economy is does it give people good lives?
Why is it that when businesses get free stuff from the government, it's called an incentive? But when poor people get free stuff from the government, it's called a handout?
Yeah, well, who pays? Who makes political contributions? Who's on the other end of the revolving door for people in politics? Maximum cynicism is totally appropriate here.
It's true.
Paul Krugman, economist. And apparently the name of his, I don't even know where Hassan Minaj's show is. I just keep seeing clips. called
Yeah, I've seen a few clips of it shared around lately.
Star Minaj Doesn't Know, which, now it makes sense why he's asked so many questions in every clip I've seen.
If he doesn't know, yeah, I guess that's how you learn is you ask, right?
Well, and it's also a smart way to do content in this time period when the left, it seems impenetrable to a degree if you're somebody on the outside of it and you're trying to figure things out. And I think that's why I don't know how many, but some segment of people on the right go that way, because it's got much less of it doesn't have a steep entry as far as if you fuck up on the left, you're probably going to get shamed for it. And that's one of the things that people fear most. That's most stressful things that a human can experience is being shamed publicly.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's almost in a way.
Here's the thing about being publicly shamed, though.
Yeah.
People move on.
Was Harriet being a chud?
Oh, yeah, Harry's being a chud.
He said, he was doing the, I thought, no, he'd said some comments previously that were fine, and that was doing the alternating capital and letters that show that he was being sarcastic.
Oh, my B. I thought he was just being a chud. My bad.
Sorry, Harry. You were still pretty new, and that's why that happened, because you hadn't been established yourself as not a chud very much, and yeah.
My hammer finger slipped. I'm sorry.
Anyways, sorry. What were you saying?
No, I lost train of thought.
Sorry. I didn't mean to shame you there, Morgan.
I've been shamed. No, I think the thing with shame is like, yeah, it sucks in the moment. The trick is, and this is a pro tip, don't do it again, man. Like,
I'm gonna tell you this.
I don't tell you, like, right? Like,
this right here. Shame is, it is a heavy fucking thing to experience, especially publicly. But there is a reason for it. And that, I credit shame to being one of the things that helped motivate me to change myself years ago. When I would think about, because even I wasn't necessarily ashamed in the moment of doing certain things being a certain way that I was. It took me a little bit more growth to kind of look back at that and go, oh God, fucking, I'm ashamed of that shit. And that's kind of was a catalyst for me to go, I want to get as far away from that version of me as I can. The version of me that's going to cause me this kind of shame in the future. I want to become the person that I'm confident that whatever I'm doing or saying now, it's going to stand the test of time, and I'm not going to get older and look back and go, yikes, because that is a terrible fucking feeling to be ashamed of whatever.
like Bob pulled him out of the abyss.
Sweet. Yep. Yeah, that's the thing and I think that kind of ties in with, like I've talked about plenty of times, the emotional maturity level of things. Yeah. It's like, if you're not, like, if you're emotionally healthy, regulated person that's like roughly at the age range that you should be with your emotional health and reactions, it sucks, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Whereas if you're a pretty emotionally mature person, being shamed is kind of the worst thing that can happen to you.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how to fucking process that heavy fucking feeling.
Can you vamp for 2 minutes?
Sure. Why? All
right.
Vamp. All right, guys. Vamping. I don't know what I'm supposed to vamp about, but I'm gonna do it. Here we go. What do I got? Got some videos here, maybe. Oh man, I don't want to have to play my music for you guys. I know you hate that. No, but anyway, so like I was saying about shame, it is, I think the biological reason for it is so that we can, learn and grow. I think it's as simple as that. It's such a distressing feeling because it's our biology telling us that this is something we need to do better about. We need to change because this is not an ideal reaction at all, or ideal situation. That said, have you guys seen Nick Cage against the Machine yet? Let's check out Nick Cage against the Machine. Yeah, here we go.
you're gonna have to explain to me what the hell this is.
Nick Cage Against the Machine.
It's Nick. Is that a cover band where someone pretends to be Nick Cage?
They're all different Nick Cage characters. If you look,
so Ghost Rider. Okay,
and then Raising Arizona on the left there, and then before he was, I'm not sure who the singer was originally. He had like a white button-down shirt and slacks on. Then he took that off, and now he is from the movie Mandy. I don't remember the guy's name. Reg, I think his name was.
Okay, sure. I haven't
But
seen that.
there's the meme. It's a meme now where it's Nick Cage in his underwear, tighty whities like that, in that shirt, and he's drinking vodka and screaming. Where he's just like, and so he's doing that, but like screaming to the Rage Against the Machine song. It's pretty fucking brilliant, actually.
Okay, now I get the joke. I'm just like, you played the clip a couple times, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? So silly.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We beat Nick Cage. Yes, let's go.
Just up there in his fucking undies.
You told me to vamp, and I got like I panicked, and I was like, oh no, what do I say?
I'm sorry, I had to take some
Nick
medicine.
Cage Against the Machine. That's all I can think of.
Nick Cage. It's a pretty good vamp.
He didn't do not that one, but he did earlier in a different song. He said something. I haven't seen that movie, Wicker Man, but he said something, and he goes, "That's from Wicker Man." There's a movie called The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, I think it is,
Sure.
starring Nick Cage as himself. And he stars opposite Pedro Pascal, believe it or not.
Oh wow.
Who he's actually in some stuff. I don't know if you've seen him.
Yeah, Pedro Pascal kind of I think he's a fantastic actor.
He is. Honestly, like I would never have picked him to be Reed Richards.
I never would have.
By the end of the movie, I'm like, he's great. It's fine. It works.
I think my only criticism of him as Reed Richards,
The mustache.
No, I like the mustache.
Okay.
It adds to like the 60s aesthetic.
Sure. Okay.
The movie is going for. He's too empathetic. Like Reed Richards normally has like empathy is a process. Like he doesn't lack empathy. He's not Doom, right? But it's like a process he has to like work through.
True. Yeah. Well, he has to get to it through equations and stuff. The way he gets
right.
It's just the way.
But I think that's hard to do in a movie. So like that's my nit to pick about him as Reed Richards is he's too likable.
Let's see. Is this accurate? Do you think that's true? So no. I mean, what's weird is to just jump right to everything I'm saying being a lie because you disagree with about that one thing. So what this tells me is that you're probably just pissed off by everything we're saying in general. Are you pissed off because the accounts you've been following on Twitter are from some other country and you're thinking they're MAGA? Is that what you're?
No, it's because he's a servant of the old gods.
I see.
Yeah, it's in the name.
Okay.
We see you.
I don't know that. I don't think that's for the reason that shame exists, man. I don't think. I mean, I don't know that there's really one reason anyway. But I think it's kind of bizarre to think that that's why it would exist.
It's not, shame serves multiple roles in society, and we feel it for multiple reasons. But if you get caught doing something bad and you feel shame about getting called to the mat for it, I don't know, man, just don't do it again.
Oh, see, the thing is that you have you conflated the idea of social cohesion with following. That's your mistake, and I bet that's probably a mistake that a lot of people make.
Probably.
Where they think that just because you are making effort to not fuck up your standing in some larger community or whatever, that means you're some kind of fucking brainless follower or whatever.
I think this is a great moment. I'm gonna pull his quote up or his post up. to talk about the Pride movement, because often it's like we always hear from, white people, when is White Pride? And in February we hear when is White History Month, and that's just NFL season, by the way, in case you were wondering. White Pride Month it's those months.
By the way, the other thing it also does is prevents exploitation.
Yeah.
So yikes. Hate to be MAGA about right now, you know what I'm saying?
But this is why there is a Pride movement. It's why it's called the Pride movement for like LGBT pride and stuff. It is because we're not ashamed. We don't feel shame. You, or not you specifically, not off the top. But the cosmic.
Hold on one second. I apologize, Morgan. I got to point this out. You're actually now lying because in the beginning of this statement, you say you're anti-othering in any way, shape, or form. Then you go on to say that I'm lying just to be cool. So why are you othering me, bro? Get the fuck out of here. You're a piece of shit. You can't even fucking spell simple words right. Fuck off.
What are we lying about? I'm confused.
Because he's saying that I lied about what I said a few minutes ago, the reason for shame existing. Despite the fact that we just said that it's not just one thing. So whenever I go on to say that it's about another thing. And when I said, by the way, if I say that the reason that shame exists is because of this, I'm speaking from my personal experience and what I believe a tool of reason it can be used as a tool. I'm not saying that this is me speaking as a goddamn biologist and that you should take what I'm saying right now as the full and complete list of reasons shame exists, okay? And the fact that you come in here acting like this about it means that, I've seen it a million times, bro. I've been doing this for fucking 6 years. You give yourself away as somebody that's just pissed off by things I'm saying generally, and you're trying to find something, just something you can fucking get in there and, peg me on to get me to fucking get pissed off or rant or whatever. Well, congratulations. Here's a rant. Fuck off.
All right. That is not. Yeah. You can't spell.
Hey,
but look, I don't expect cultists of the old guy to be able to spell. Yeah. And you know what? Honestly, if we can keep them over there and away from the yellow paint, we should be all right. Don't let the cultists near the yellow paint. It's bad. If you don't know what that means, I'm not going to tell you because you don't need to know. Read your history.
Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted you so I could fucking rant at that person. I'll be right back.
You're gonna go. Okay, your turn for me to vamp. Yeah. Yeah. The old gods. What's funny is so much of that we credit Lovecraft for that, but so much of that stuff is August what's his face. It's another guy who wrote a lot of that stuff after Lovecraft was dead, and a lot of his stuff went on to inspire the Chaosium stuff, which is the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game that inspired more of that stuff. So it's weird how we credit Lovecraft with it, but at this point, the Cthulhu mythos is a bunch of other stuff by other people who are kind of better than him. I think H.P. Lovecraft wrote a lot of really interesting short stories and novellas, but independent of being a product of his time, August Derleth. Thank you, Bob. August Derleth. That is the guy I am thinking of. Independent of him, of Lovecraft, I think a lot of other people have gone on to do good work in the mythos. And it's one of those things that's kind of become a shared storytelling thing for a lot of people. Cthulhu, even as just the big guy, has grown so far beyond just the one short story he actually appears in where he's defeated by boat. They hit him with a boat and he goes back down. He's had enough. He's a sleepy boy. Yeah, this is correct. H.P. Lovecraft had a vivid imagination. Racist, but vivid. True.
Yep. Anyways.
Welcome back.
I am back.
We're just talking about you.
Oh, no. Why?
We were comparing your vivid dreams to H.P. Lovecraft's.
What were my vivid dreams about?
You don't remember?
Oh, is that the Obama one?
Yeah, it was the Obama one.
Okay.
We got someone from the Absolute Universe in chat.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Absolute J-Kong is here.
What do you think's more powerful, absolute or ultimate? Which one is a better,
Gods. Well, the problem is that the Ultimate Universe is ending in like 2 months. Just crazy. Gods. Well, okay, I guess Darkseid is more powerful than the Maker, right? Like Darkseid could destroy Mr. Fantastic just like by thinking about it too hard.
Sorry, son forgot it was Sunday and knocked on the door.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, he'll be getting the leashes for that one.
Oh no.
Got to give him a lesson.
And by that, you mean you're going to make him walk the dog?
Yeah, probably.
Which you should. It's good exercise for both him and the dog. Oh, right.
So I want to point out that I showed this to Bob the other night, and he agreed that this is a concerning thing. And this kind of goes to the potential Fuentes marks out there. There's a YouTube channel that I came across in my feed, my shorts feed.
I'm sorry.
It's the only place I see something like this, not in regular feed. But it was called Breezy Politics. Breezy Politics.
That's
like it's just, look, breezy politics. Not even the hard stuff that you don't like. It's breezy politics, right?
Left, you are not my enemy. It is with pride that we announced our next guest. Thank you, Cenk, for coming on.
No problem, Tucker. Thanks for having me on. I think it's important that we have a moment like this where we try to bring the country together.
Amen. I so strongly agree.
Wake up. Because I am telling you, this is not a battle between left and right.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. Thank you.
We have to now meet in the middle.
Do you think that America should just cut ties with Israel altogether?
What's your definition of cut ties?
Like stop funding them, stop being their military arm?
Yes,
okay,
I'm on
great.
record saying.
Okay.
Never mind that the rest of everything else that woman was saying was about, like how non-whites suck and, shit like that.
Yeah.
You see why this might be potentially problematic?
We talk about Nick Fuentes, but I think that undermines talking about Candace Owens, whose influence is huge.
She's grown massively pretty recently.
Yeah, her following has exploded in popularity. Her views have exploded.
And just like I said privately, I wanted to say that I think it is very amusing in a meta-narrative sense that she is a black woman who has she infiltrated don't say infiltrated as she did it nefariously. She just was on the right, and she kind of became I guess an acolyte of first it was what, Ben Shapiro, right? Then it was I think she went and spent some time with Prager. But then she at some point became friends with Charlie Kirk and TPUSA and stuff, and it's just she's basically went and learned from all these masters of white nationalism.
Yeah,
and now she's doing it at a higher level than any of them. Basically, she's like, it's like just like the Joker in The Dark Knight. They don't know what they've done. They've unleashed on the world.
Yeah, it's crazy how we hear all about Fuentes and Fuentes is a piece of shit, and a lot of people are platforming him for all sorts of nefarious reasons, but she is blowing them all away.
Have you seen any of the clips of her talking about the Charlie Kirk thing and it's so if you watch The Surfs, you've seen it because Lance has watched it a few times. I'm like, holy crap, the level she's grifting at is pretty high level.
Her grift is powerful. I also think that when it comes to the Charlie Kirk stuff, she is a very authentic speaker, and she knew Kirk well enough that, and I don't know one way or the other if it's true or not, but she can convincingly talk like they were friends and that she misses him in a way that makes a lot of the other Republicans look fake by comparison.
Well, I mean, she was showing text, which was one of the controversial things she did.
Yeah.
Shared some text that showed, them just kind of talking like normal people about rap people liked and stuff, which, was kind of an odd look from Charlie Kirk, but still.
Right.
It's
well, I think that fits Kirk. What we've heard about him from other people is that like a lot of these people, Kirk played a character.
Yeah.
Like he was said a lot of tremendously awful things, supported a lot of tremendously awful things, lended his voice to tremendously awful things.
No, he didn't loan it. He didn't lend it. He was paid for it very well.
He was paid for it, right?
Yeah.
But that character, the character of Charlie Kirk and the person Charlie the Kirk were not the same thing. Differently awful, but not the same.
I can't imagine, like, and that's the thing that, I can't imagine being somebody that says this specifically just vile and untrue propaganda against, for example, the black community, black people in general, and essentially saying, more or less, he said at one point, at least once, that they can't possibly be true, that they are as smart or as talented as white women or whatever, and they, that kind of shit, and then just also listening to rap music,
right?
Like being like, oh, this song fucking gets me hyped and shit, and it's like, how do you? I don't understand keeping those two things separate in your mind, where you do respect the music that black people have created, but like otherwise, yeah, they're not really the same thing as a human or whatever the fuck.
Right.
Like, I don't know. It's bizarre.
Well, I mean, how many white supremacists have, will say things about, black men coming for white women and how white women will just jump all over black men. Like, it's that same sort of fear that comes from the same place, right? Of this, like, I want to believe that these people are inferior to me, but I also have all of these fears about how much better than me they are.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it is that old reactionary double mindset of like they're both powerful and weak, kind of thing, which is inherent to fascism as well. Yeah. But yeah, so Candace Owens, she's doing
numbers.
You're right. She is somebody it is kind of alarming to think about. She's not really getting focused on the same way.
Right. But I think she's every bit the reactionary Fuentes is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and plus she is more palatable.
Yeah.
Not to mention the fact that, in the same way that it's easy, Fuentes fans will try and use the fact that he is, I think, half or quarter Mexican. I think his dad was maybe half Mexican or something. That is like, oh, well, he's not a white nationalist, even though there's literal video of him.
Very much. Yeah.
But then, with Candace Owens, it's pretty obvious that she was selected and platformed for not just the fact that she is a very talented speaker. She's very convincing, but there's a lot of white women that are like that too. The reason she is where she is because she was put there because she's black.
A little bit.
I mean, it's weird to say that, but I mean, yeah, I'm not the one that did it. It's racist that did that. They were like, we need to win people over, and there's a lot of moderates and stuff that will refuse to listen to anything these days, but to anything they'll need to see a black person saying the things that we want them to hear in order to buy it, basically, because people are too woke.
Yeah, I also think that like this maybe underlies a different grasp that the Christian nationalist movement has on American identity politics. But even among more liberal or more progressive communities of color in some parts of the country, you still have rampant homophobia, rampant transphobia, rampant anti-Semitism. All of those things exist and can be exploited. And I think that's what, I think, with when she broke with Ben Shapiro, it was over her posting Christ is King a whole bunch and getting people to post that, right? So
That's weird. The weird that he would get upset about that. I mean, sincerely, like you can't expect everyone to just be Jewish with you. I don't know, like, yeah. Anyway,
well, the thing is Ben Shapiro has spent a long time selling bigotry, and what's one more bigotry?
True. Well, except for whenever it's aimed at Jewish people, then he really gets uptight and starts to, ask everyone around him, hey, you guys think this is okay? This is not okay, right? Starts getting real Karen-y.
Oh yeah, there's a clip of someone who was a either Democrat consultant worked in the Obama administration or both, who went on like a really Zionist tirade about how like Holocaust education failed because young people see the parallels between minority groups like African Americans and Palestinians and the Jews in World War II.
Was this that guy that was like, it was like
a woman?
Oh, okay. I've not seen that.
Yeah, it's Taylor Lorenz shared talked about it in a video, and I've seen it elsewhere. That's just the most recent one I saw of it.
You mean that people see these people as humans? Is that what the problem is?
Yes, she is complaining that people draw the parallels between the Palestinians today and the extermination being carried out against them and the extermination of the Jewish people in World War II. People see the parallels there. And this woman does not like that very much, no.
Yeah. I mean, it's becoming clear to me how much that version of that Zionist mindset and propaganda has really become a pretty strong vehicle for anti-Semitism.
I found the video if you want me to pull it up and we can share it with the class. All right. Hopefully it'll come through. I don't know if I'll echo or not, so we'll find out. Oh, I have to remove this other thing from the stage.
Sarah, here it's.
Boop, boop. All right, I will blow this up.
Oh God, is she the same lady as that? Jesus Christ. Oh, I saw her face in a thumbnail of something. I forget what it was, but I've seen her face very recently. Okay, yep, that's her. So we can't hear it. I don't know if we're supposed to be able to hear it right now. But
oh, you can't hear it?
No, can't.
Oh, okay.
I can find it, maybe.
All right, yeah, you try and find it. I can send you a link in private chat. I have it pulled up.
Okay.
Private chat. This is the chat. You don't get to see chatters. You're not cool enough. All right.
That other thing you said in there about that one person in chat too, though, Morgan.
Oh yeah, that's really good. Yeah, I know.
Got him.
Bang, 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 bang.
We won't say who it is we're talking about.
We're not. Yeah, you know who you are, though.
Generation of American children see and consume every day. And that's really what you're hearing from
you want to start it over
as
that. I think that's got a timestamp on it from.
Oh.
Yeah. No, you want to bring it back to the beginning.
Like Josh Gottheimer from New Jersey, a Democrat, saying using social media, Russia, Iran, and China have the ability to control what an entire generation of American children see and consume every day. And that's really what you're hearing from this Sarah Hurwitz woman as well on stage, to go back to the original quote. She's saying, you know, it used to be that the media you got in America was American media, and it was pretty mainstream. It didn't express extreme anti-Israel views. You'd have to go to a weird bookstore. And this is the whole thing, right? Is the internet has broken the monopoly that people in power had over our media ecosystem. And you see them trying to claw this back. So you have, you know, David Ellison trying to buy up Paramount and Warner Brothers and CBS, obviously, which he owns now, or Elon Musk, of course, seizing control of Twitter. But we still, thankfully, thanks to Section 230 and a lot of these other laws that are so crucial to protecting freedom on the internet, we still do have a somewhat democratic internet. We have a very monopolistic tech ecosystem, which, by the way, I'm in favor of regulating and breaking up. We have a lot of really scary laws, especially in the States right now, aimed at censoring speech. This is why, actually, Benjamin Netanyahu himself said back in September in that meeting with influencers, weapons change over time. The most important ones are on social media.
So was that all it showed of her, or is she going to show her unhinged rant more, or what?
Oh, she plays the unhinged rant in the beginning of the video.
Oh, my bad.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the. Yeah.
There have been huge shifts in America on how people think about Jews and Israel, and I think that is especially true of young people. So we are now wrestling with a new, I think, generational divide here. And I think that's particularly true in that social media is now our source of media. And this, you know, it used to be that the media you got in America was American media, and it was.
So, I mean, this idea that if you're talking about Israel, you're talking about Jews. I mean, it literally is that, in the sense that Israel is, a Jewish ethno state, but it's not that. It's really it's tricky. It's tricky because I mean the thing is you got two different, very different motivations for criticizing Israel,
right?
And obviously the one that is actually evil and wants to kill Jewish people is perfectly willing and happy to hide out in the crowd amongst the others. And pretend they're that for as long as they can, or at least use this cover of that, when they're really about, it's actually the people that they're wanting to get rid of.
Well, and like we covered literally back in that October as this was first happening, this most recent, the October 7th attack, put up like the next day.
Yeah.
Completely funnily planned show that we were going to talk about the Christian nationalist conspiracy theory that all of the Jews have to be in
Doomsdays.
Israel.
I think it was.
Yeah, doomsdays have gone by, and now they're here again.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
So, even the Christian nationalists supporting Israel want to do that to kill Jewish people.
Yeah. I mean, in that way, and this is going to sound fucked up, and I'm sure if I was actually prominent enough, it mattered enough, somebody would clip this, but in that way, Nick Fuentes is kind of refreshing in his honesty compared to, the mainstream, what the mainstream right is still doing, because he just he's makes it clear what he's about, whereas they, yeah, it's this papered over version of racism and anti-Semitism that the mainstream right has. That's yeah, cringe, not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing that I'm starting to realize, is that that it is becoming has become, like I said, a very effective way to hide your anti-Semitism is but it's on the reverse. The other side of the coin of that is that they, by coupling this together in terms of their propaganda for so long and how they wanted people to speak of it, that it has yeah, sorry, kind of get distracted.
No, you're absolutely right. Is to read the comment. Funny enough, many of those people are backing Israel financially while making life a living hell for a Jewish diaspora. Their relationship is a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. Yeah.
Very, very well said.
Anti-Semitism is on the rise, and it's a problem. And the people who have positioned themselves as the ones to be on the front line against that are the same people saying it's okay for Elon Musk to give Hitler salutes, and that we can't have Muslim politicians in America,
right,
despite them having overwhelming support in their local Jewish communities. They've sold their co-religionists out for American arms and money. And that's pretty fucked up.
Indeed. I mean, so I'm trying to find right now a video that I've had downloaded. Maybe I got rid of it already. I mean, I have the Orthodox Jews. Huh?
Do you want to? Because we were worried about an hour 40. You had stuff about the Charlie Kirk assassination trial. About
Yeah,
missing
sure. I mean, there's not a lot to discuss, except that it's kind of weird that this is what happened here.
Yeah.
So you got CBS was doing or ABC rather. Let me see which one was it. Two News, which is what CBS, I guess. Anyways, a local news station, one of the big networks, but as a local affiliate, was trying to do an investigation into the Charlie Kirk murder, as primarily the killer or alleged killer, Tyler Robinson. And they went to the cops and asked for certain information that should be available to press, unless it's like literally tied to the investigation or whatever. But first when they asked for, they asked one of the many things on a list of information they asked for was video of Tyler Robinson being taken into the jail. Because if you remember back, he apparently turned himself in along with his father to do so. So they asked for that. They said, no, we can't do that. And then eventually they sent back an official response of like the things they'd asked for. And as far as that goes, they said that does not exist. That video does not exist.
What?
So yeah.
That's wild.
Request for surveillance video. A public records request was filed with Washington County Sheriff's Office. Video showing Robinson entering the Washington County jail / holding area and video of him in a holding room. We do not have any records responsive to this portion of the request, as Tyler Robinson did not go to or enter the jail area, wrote a records officer with Sheriff's Office. Holding room video was denied as part of the investigation. A few weeks later, 2 News re-upped the request in a more generalized fashion, inquiring for surveillance videos showing Tyler Robinson walking into Washington County Sheriff's Office. Our office does not have any applicable records responsive to this request, as the surveillance footage is no longer available after the 30-day retention period, wrote a records officer. I'm pretty sure that the retention period isn't supposed to matter when it's part of an ongoing murder investigation, maybe? Just my
Probably
guess.
not. You probably should have held on to that. Yeah.
When asked if the video was shared with any law enforcement agency or any legal agency, the department responded, "It is my understanding it was never sent out to any agency." So nobody officially has that video. So a criminal defense attorney, Rudy Batista, in Utah, works on capital cases, which, you know.
This is, yeah.
Well, it's not going to be, seems like. Including a current case in Utah involving the death penalty. For the state of Utah, we would certainly hope that this video is available. If, in fact, it has been destroyed and not preserved, it is very concerning. And if it has, then it's very concerning that they're telling you they don't have it. If they no longer have it, I would have expected to say this video has been provided. I would have expected to say that this video has been provided to Utah County law enforcement. But instead, the letter reads, in his opinion, that it's trying to shut the door and not give free access of this information to the press.
That's wild.
He said the video evidence of Robinson would be crucial for the defense work.
Yeah.
Of the case. He believes that the case involving Robinson, who has been charged with crimes involving shooting death of Charlie Kirk, is not a death penalty case. By all accounts, Charlie Kirk was a great man, blah, 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 he does that. But he's like, this is not a death penalty. Not a death penalty case. He looks at the alleged murder weapon and believes that since only one shot was fired and the weapon didn't allow for any automatic gunfire, there's no aggravating factor to warrant the aggravated murder charge. Based on what I understand about applying the aggravated factor, that seems right. The rifle was determined to be a blah 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 Mauser. Scope mounted on top. Investigators noted inscriptions. Blah blah blah. The risk of hitting someone else really isn't there. That's why I believe that aggravating factor is weak now.
Yeah.
Why it was charged that way is clearly political.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well,
so what he's saying that you just see a lot of kind of evidence of just higher up government pressing down on this case and trying to finagle things their way. So
yep. Well, and this is on top of all the stuff that Kash Patel did.
Right.
That, between announcing how many different people they've arrested for this over 72 hours and like sharing evidence and conspiracy theories.
It was 2 different people.
Yeah.
Before, yeah.
Yeah, like they were, if they got the right person, they arrested 2 other people for it beforehand. They couldn't get their story straight about this guy.
So this speaks to part of what Candace Owens has been saying, and that's the thing is that that's why I'm saying she's grifting at a high level, because she's operating the way grifters are most successful is by grifting on material that has inherently gray areas or mysterious aspects to it.
Yep.
Right. So if there's something, if it's a complex thing, like the ever evolving nature of the demographics, the distribution models of media, for example. So comic books, if the readership has broadened beyond just like your typical comic book nerd bro, and if people are getting more comics online, or they're getting more trade paperbacks, or for example, and they're not getting single issues from comic book stores as much, then you start to see that lack of those sales. That's really easy for grifters to come along and tell you the comic book industry is failing. It's dying. And, you know, the same thing with movies. Whenever you have nobody going to movie theaters, not because of the movies themselves for the most part, but because basically during COVID, everybody realized, oh, wait, they're just going to put these out on the fucking, you know, on streaming in like a month.
Right.
You know, why would I we don't have the money to spend on that shit anyway because the economy is so shitty.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what you grift on. And that's what she's doing, is basically using the gray areas of this whole case that is unforced errors all the way down the line when it comes to
right.
Patel.
Yeah. Absolutely. It is entirely possible that Tyler Robinson walks, regardless of his actual innocence or not, just because of Kash Patel's tweets. There's a reason why, if you look at the history of the FBI and the social media era, FBI directors are not posting through it, guys. That is not what you do when you're the head of national law enforcement, effectively.
It's what you do when you are a podcaster who depends on you know, having the hot take and then the first to have some information to get eyes onto what you're doing. That's what you do. But nobody apparently told him that he's not that anymore.
What's funny is, as a person who has a podcast and a day job, I am overqualified to be director of the FBI now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he looks like he knows he's underqualified too. But
oh, sure, I would too. Yeah, if you know, if Kash Patel fell over and Trump was like, that trans right there, we're gonna make them the FBI director, I'd be like, all right, idiots. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, his lawyers are probably going to, if they're not already trying that. It seems like that's just a no-brainer for an attorney, defense attorney. It's one of the most high-profile cases ongoing right now.
Yeah, and
in the top 5, probably for sure. Which means that the amount of people that know about it, you know, dilutes your potential jury pool. Yeah.
And then just the amount of evidence that can be thrown out because Kash Patel is a moron. And the Kash Patel led, you know, his incompetence led to other people saying things they shouldn't have that taint jury pools and poison evidence. And now you have missing records. You know, if he did it, he should go to jail for the rest of his life. But it's looking like there's a sizable chance he's going to walk. Just because they fucked up. To which I say, yeah, good. I don't know, skill issue.
Yeah. So, have you you know how we've checked in a couple of times on the whole Joe Rogan, Peter Thiel connection and that whole weird stuff going on there. And we will follow up on this Kirk thing if, you know, once anything happens.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be more developments. That trial will play out.
But so and we also talked about, I think, when Theo Vaughn had a crash out when he was recording his Netflix special.
Yeah, he had a breakdown.
Well, since then he has gone, you know, he's had Andrew Sorrentino, who's a comedian I generally think's pretty good. He was on the show Dave that I liked a lot.
Oh, cool.
He went on Theo's podcast and they talked about it a little bit. Theo kind of got specific about things, and it makes you understand his perspective quite a bit more, where he was saying that you know, essentially because they'd taken this the video of him that he'd recorded for some fan that asked him to record something saying, hey, you got deported, you know, or whatever. This is like a year and a half ago, and
sure,
you know, whatever, and he recorded that. And then DHS took that, used that in the beginning of their fucking propaganda video about, you know, showing people babies getting separated from their families and shit. Theo Vaughn took issue with that. But he said that really fucked him up, and he didn't ever think of the government as being capable of doing something like that to people, to an individual, or to, you know, just the fact that he was tied to, like, he was already distressed by what was happening with ICE, to then see his own image being used to promote that fucked him up quite a bit. And then, you know, he talked about how he made the very common mistake of he stopped taking his antidepressants.
Yeah.
because he wanted to be able to experience more emotion. And that is sadly something that does happen with antidepressants, where you get a little bit numb to things, and after a while you might notice that, hey, shouldn't I be feeling something more right here when I'm not?
Right.
And that's kind of alarming, and it sucks. But depending on your what kind of situation you have going on, I just would never recommend just stopping your medication.
Don't quit cold turkey. Talk to a doctor. You could even talk to like a pharmacist about it if like you absolutely cannot talk to your doctor for some reason, right? It's just
the absolute most dangerous thing that you can do is to stop taking that medication suddenly. That is when, I don't know what the stats are, if there's even a stat that exists about it, but I'm sure that a good large amount of people that self-delete involving medication or whatever do it whenever they've just suddenly stopped taking their medication, because you can kind of fall off pretty fast and pretty hard.
Like you can suffer, like the side effects for just quitting cold turkey are pretty substantial, even just beyond the psychological effects. The physiological effects of like SSRIs are such that like they modify how your body uptakes serotonin and other neurotransmitters, and so you can have like neurological effects. It's called serotonin storm syndrome.
Oh God, I haven't heard that. Jeez.
Where like you will have like headaches and you'll feel like a current running through your body. It can cause permanent damage. It can actually, in extreme cases, cause death. Now it's a rare side effect, but when you quit these medicines cold turkey, you increase the risk of that. So work with your doctor. If you don't like the effects, talk to your doctor right away. Email your doctor, say, hey, what can we do about this? Can you put me on a lower dosage?
Well, so from there, he had his incident with that, and that kind of was the capper on everything. And I guess he realized he needed to, slow down and kind of chill out a little bit. And anyway, so it seems like it's caused him to do a lot of reflecting about everything. So recently he went on Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan, as we said, is seems like he's just a pal of Peter Thiel, who is basically a lizard person. No,
I wish.
He's something else, man. But it seems like Joe is very determined to defend Peter Thiel's honor, I guess you could say. So here's Theo Von, and I actually like him a little bit more again, because I think that he is most of the time just saying how he sees things, and it may be a bit simplistic for a guy of his age, but it just comes off as honest sometimes, most of the time. But yeah, check this out.
Interesting experience, and that's life. It's just like
life is an interesting experience.
Yeah,
it really truly is. But it can be awesome and it can suck.
The
reason why
we have to stop for a second and just sort of.
I told you. I know this is like people aren't going to find this reference amusing, but in The Bachelor, there was this contestant that asked the lead, "What are 3 things in life that makes you excited?" And I remember his first response was, "Excitement." And that's what this conversation reminds me of. Like life is a crazy experience. It's like almost the ultimate experience, honestly.
Well, there's going to be a turn here you might not be ready for.
Okay.
Well, it is a little bit difficult to criticize Rogan saying that by citing The Bachelor.
It's awesome.
I'm a Renaissance woman.
It's because it can suck.
I got a lot of different interests. Yeah.
It's like how all the Republicans, like when they talk about The Bachelor is so much worse than.
I have not seen this actual video of this, by the way, so this is all just new to me. I'm just enjoying them laughing.
You're just enjoying the banter.
Well, I mean, it was a pretty silly thing, but I mean, I also laughed at what she said, because I haven't seen that, but it triggers several memories in my brain of somebody saying something similar in the past. I can't think of what they would be immediately, but just saying something so fucking obviously they're trying to say something profound, but really it's just the most
banal, dumb thing.
Yeah.
It's just whatever I open my mouth.
Like 5 years ago, okay?
This is just like the Hunger Games.
I watched Survivor. It can be awesome and it can suck, and the reason why it's awesome is because it can suck. Like you need them all. Yeah. While we're human, and I think we have
record
You have
scratch.
only so much sand left in that hourglass. Where the humans are on the way out. I know a lot of people hate it when Peter Thiel says it. Like, Peter Thiel is a terrible person. He's evil.
Do you think he is?
No. I think he's just telling you the truth. I think he's, when they said, do you think human beings should survive? And he had like this long pause.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
And then the interviewer was like, the answer is yes. The answer is yes. You think human
Oh, it couldn't be that maybe he has a very different incentive to answer, like reasons why he's answering the question the way that he's answering that, compared to like every other person virtually.
Right. Like
when you know the things that he believes, which we've talked about. We've talked about.
Yep.
He's a fan of what's his name? Fish face guy.
Yarvin.
Yarvin. And the crap he has written, which essentially says that, most people are just kind of destined to be slaves, really. And that'd be better off for them, actually. That subjugation is the way things should be, where a few people have all the power and wealth, and then everybody else just kind of services that. If you see the world that way, I really kind of don't think your opinion. It's weird that people even ask him that question. Honestly, like the fact that billionaires get asked questions about like the future of society as if they're incentivized to think about it the same way as the average person is fucking bizarre.
It really is. It's really quite weird. I actually was listening to a video essay that Flint Dibble, who's an archaeologist, put out recently, and he talks about how these, because it was on like the birth rate moral panic, and how he was talking about it's all these rich powerful people, your Elon Musks, who are really hyper fixated on that, when these like massive empires fall, when nations fall, it's not the farmers and the working class who get wiped out. It's the powerful people. So if they're really worried about preserving the civilization that props up their wealth, they should fortify it from the bottom and not just be hoarders, because historically that's what keeps your civilization going, not incentivizing birth rates, especially because we don't. All these guys talk about falling birth rates. We don't have birth rates for most of human history because nobody cared.
Well, and also, I think that the birth rate guys are typically, maybe looking at one specific demographic more than others.
Yes, there is a what counts for people's birth rates issue, because they talk about the falling birth rates in here, and Japan obviously is another one to talk about.
Japan's got a problem. That's true. That's just true.
Scandinavia, but like the world population keeps growing, and they haven't, that weirdly doesn't figure into their calculus. Like, oh, we have to worry about the birth rate. Humanity is going to die out, and I'm like, we have 8 billion people and counting. What are you? Oh, you're counting white people. Oh, you're counting white people of certain demographics.
Oh, was this the fucking guy that had cancer?
Yeah.
Jesus, that fucking pissed me off, man.
Yeah.
What a piece of shit, Joe. Like, that came off as just like no different than any of these other chuds we've talked about in the kind of, Ethan Van Sciver type fucking shit.
Yeah. Like,
which the reason I mentioned him is because he literally did bully someone who had cancer for having cancer. So,
yeah. It's Flint Dibble is awesome. He's a great watch. I recommend him.
I haven't seen him. I will check that out.
He's a dork. I love him.
I love dorks.
Yeah.
What pisses me off is these people that attach themselves to historically dorky and nerdy things, and then try to remove themselves otherwise from looking like or seeming like a dork, and they talk about it in these very disconnected and impassionate, kind of like superficial ways, as if they still get to benefit from the popularity that nerdy things has grown to have in this day and age, but also they don't actually want to be nerds.
No.
Rogan being one of those.
Yeah.
I used to like him. Back earlier in his show, whenever he would, I wouldn't always agree with him, but he wasn't usually taking political stances either. It was usually just like, when he would talk about, for example, just kind of clearing the bullshit out of your life and just focusing on what you want to get done and stuff like that. That stuff resonated with me.
Sure.
And, it's the same way that Jordan Peterson saying, hey, just simple thing, we make fun of him for it, but I understand what he was saying with the clean your room thing. It's like, clean your fucking immediate area, get that taken care of. You'll feel, for one thing, you'll feel better.
Mm-hmm.
and like, hey, I got that done. What else can I get done? What, maybe out of the house I'll get something done, and that's all good. It's just everything else after
everything
that.
else. Yeah. What's funny about my introduction to Joe Rogan is he had Sam Harris on, and I read Sam Harris's book years ago at that point. Someone, oh yeah, have you know who Sam Harris is? And I'm like, oh yeah, I read his book a few years ago. And it's like, oh, he was on the Joe Rogan show. You should check it out. So I listened to it, and then I realized that, like, wow, Sam Harris is a weirdo. The fuck is going on here? And then so I never listened to Joe Rogan or Sam Harris ever again.
Well, Sam Harris on the one, not to defend him because I don't know what his positions are or anything, but like there has been things that he's been very wrong about that he's grown on, that he's changed his mind on, and that's more than you can say about a lot of these guys.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Like, I know he was in with all those Peterson types for a while, and that's sort of when I was like, what the fuck is the Weinsteins as well? I think he was running with them for a little bit, but I think he's probably moved on from that crowd.
Yeah, I mean, part of the problem is that they developed these followings around them that came to see them as basically modern day philosophers instead of just some human that maybe got a degree in something, and now he's got a platform, so he's going to comment on other things too, and he might not necessarily know what the fuck he's talking about with some of those things. He's a neuroscientist, Sam Harris?
I forget what he was, actually. It's been so long. I will say this, that the Lawrence Krauss book that he edited, that's all of the war on science, where it's just complaining about it's a bunch of pedophiles complaining about woke people.
Yeah, that's the only thing we got to worry about with the war on science these days. Yeah.
Sam Harris had nothing to do with that, so that is a huge props to Sam Harris.
I would feel pretty surprised if he did, because I think he does actually, as wrong as he can be. Like, I remember him having a pretty dumb position on Black Lives Matter 5 years ago. I don't know if
his degree is in neuroscience.
Anyway, yeah, there's that. It's weird that Joe Rogan is so, I don't know. I saw somebody commenting under one of his streams. It was like, if you don't see how much Joe Rogan has changed to become exactly like what he used to criticize, it's bizarre, and this was somebody that was a big fan of his and just kept on noticing the little ways in which he started to change, especially with the Spotify deal, which came right before COVID, and I think that's really what it was. Those two things right there. It took a guy who previously was kind of just a dumbass, but at least smarter than your average dumbass, right? He was at least more curious. I think that was Joe Rogan's thing. He was curious, whereas a lot of stupid people are incurious. And so he would want to know things, and that's fine and good. And, but he got that Spotify deal, $250 million, which he himself described as fuck you money.
It is fuck you money.
It definitely is. And then right after that, he, the ivermectin and COVID and everything like that, where he was just, and at the same time, he'd already been talking to right-leaning figures. Somebody got in his ears, maybe Peter Thiel, and was like, hey, these people coming at you right now, these people are, they're going to try and, blah, 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 make you work for bloody,
We have a fan request. Can we make fun of Dave Rubin? And the only thing I have to say about Dave Rubin and making fun of Dave Rubin is I can't make fun of him because he's already Dave Rubin. And that is
that it's
the lowest form of humor.
I've even seen anything about Dave Rubin mattering, that that seems like that's enough to make fun of him right there.
Right. He's never has a quisling quizzed so close to the sun before.
Truly. Right. Well, because those people come along and make them feel good about themselves. I mean, when the billionaire lizard guy, the lizard alien suit's coming out of his skin suit, whenever he, I don't know, tells you that, hey, you know what, you're part of the club now. I guess that works for some people. I don't know how it works, but something happened. It could just be that the guy's got steroid brain.
Maybe he ivermectined his half his brain out his ass. Just horse pasted his whole, lower half of his brain out as his rectum. What's funny is if I had fuck you money, I would just end up giving it all away. I'm like, what do I do with this? I don't need this. Pay off my house, I guess.
You missed my joke. I said rectum damn near killed him.
Oh, I didn't hear it. I'm sorry.
That's a punchline to a joke I heard a long time ago. So maybe next week, potentially, unless something else pops off, I think we should talk about this whole scenario.
It's going to kill people that are bringing drugs into our country.
Take a look at this map showing the U.S. military buildup in the Caribbean in the last few weeks. The U.S. has already airstriked a bunch of fishing boats. What is happening here? Well, the Trump administration says that they're confronting the Maduro government in Venezuela for smuggling drugs into the United States. The only problem is Venezuela doesn't account for much of the drugs coming to the US. So why do this? To understand the real reasons behind this, I want to take you back to a private meeting that happened in Washington last month, where the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, Barclays, and a bunch of hedge funds and investment firms had a meeting with Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado. On the agenda, investment opportunities in Venezuela after Nicolas Maduro is removed from power. And what would be the biggest investment opportunities in a Venezuela that's more friendly to the West? Of course, it's oil. Venezuela has the largest proven reserves of oil in the entire world. The big oil companies want in on the action, but they had to leave Venezuela when Hugo Chavez kicked them out. They would love to get back in, but first, they need Maduro out of the way. And it looks like the Trump administration is happy to oblige. Leading this charge is Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
That was a surprise I didn't
Rubio
expect.
wants regime change in Venezuela, mostly for ideological reasons, like fighting socialism. But he's been super successful in swaying President Trump towards this conflict. Trump has wanted regime change in Venezuela for ages, primarily because...
Yeah, I was not expecting Rubio to be the warmonger in this scenario at all.
You know what? I'm not surprised.
I mean, I guess I'm not surprised, but you know what? It shows my I guess my bias for baby faces.
You know what it is? He has chicken hawk energy.
Chicken hawk. Yeah. So, you know, there's that. I think it'd be worthwhile to look at, like, for example, I don't even know, is Venezuela even anything like socialist? I don't really know.
I don't know the ins and outs. Like, they're allegedly, but I mean, it's one of those things I don't know enough to know enough, right? Yep.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy how it all just boils down to fucking resources and wanting to take what they got. And
Pet rocks and dead dinosaurs.
Yeah, you know, if we worked towards like a more global peace initiative, perhaps we could find ways to move past the need for these things in the first place. I don't know.
Well, the problem is then what do the executive class do? What do we do with them?
Yeah, and what's Raytheon gonna do? You know,
What is Won't someone think of the Raytheon Corporation?
think of them and their needs. Okay, just this poor little corporation that came up from nothing. All right, and they bombed a lot of kids to be where they are now.
Right. All right. Well, we're pushing 2 hours. I think it's a good time to wrap up for the Fapidin.
I concur. Yeah, that's all I got to. I was thinking of maybe giving an update on the music, but yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, that Star Wars thing. I'm going to be sad not talking about it, but I'm sure the fine folks, the fine comrades of the Shillcast will do that coverage with the skill and expertise I expect from them.
Although other Bob Chaos will not be on this week. He's going to be off dealing with family stuff because apparently it's some kind of holiday this weekend. I don't know for this week, and it is a holiday this week, and I'll be doing stuff with family, but not on Wednesday. So because everybody knows it was a Thursday that the natives and the pilgrims sat down and shared everything. And said, "Hey, we're gonna be pals forever,"
and that never changed, right? They were just
celebrate
friends.
this day, our beautiful, everlasting friendship forever.
Boy, in that universe, we got Mr. Pedant here. Oil is not dead dinosaurs, man. Shut up, Bob.
It's not. What is it?
It's a bunch of other stuff, but it's just fun to say dead. It's fun to say dead dinosaurs.
Well, it can't be that anyway because the devil put dinosaurs here.
Who's to say the devil didn't put oil here too?
If the devil put dinosaurs here, and we're using dead dinosaurs then that means that we run on evil. Okay.
Have you noticed the state of the world?
Oh, yeah. I guess that's a good point. Yeah. Yikes.
Well, the good news is the Joker isn't on our Justice League, so we haven't reached that level yet.
Woo! Oh yeah, unlike in the Absolute
Universe, yeah.
Something went wrong there. I gotta say, and something's not right there. Oh, one thing, you know what? You can take off if you want to, Morgan. I wanted to address this whole thing real quick.
I'll hang out for a minute, but yeah, go
What
for it.
Trump
Go ahead.
was wearing yesterday surprised me. I was like, "What is this?" He has never, like, I don't know if this
I've never
is like,
seen him dressed like this before.
is this to cover something up, or is this just part of? Did somebody come along and say, "Okay, so we got him more on your side with Mom Donnie. You were really cool with that guy, and now people are like, maybe the Trump's not so bad." All that crazy fascism he was doing and stuff. So we got to put him in a nice sweater with a nice turtleneck, I guess. But something was just kind of bugging me. I was like, this seems so familiar.
Yeah, I did some investigative journalism and I looked into it. And
I looked into it and I found this.
Oh. See,
So maybe he's just letting us know that I'm going to be more evil now.
It's possible.
Which,
Alternatively.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Maybe
he liked Mom Donnie so much he's taken fashion tips from the guy, which honestly, mood.
Well, why wouldn't you? If you can pull it off, do it. But I don't think he's pulling it off, to be honest. Not nearly.
Who wore it better?
Let's say this is more. You're pulling that off.
You're pulling that off, yeah.
Good deal. I mean, the neck skin and everything. You got it.
Oh yeah.
Making me think about Rise of Skywalker, though, not good. So you're back
not
in
a
the
good
shit.
thought, yeah.
Although I will say that costume, that shit is pretty fucking fire. That's a good look for the Emperor. It's about the only thing that I remember from the movie. Like, that's cool. Anyway, yeah. So on Thursday, Friday. Fucking, what am I talking about? On Wednesday, I'll do a showcast. I don't know who will be on with me. Hopefully, other people will. But yeah, we're going to talk about this interview that Leslie Headland did, and talked about the disappointment of The Acolyte not getting a season 2. But she also called out the grifters pretty, not specifically, but like what she did was distinguish the different types of negative feedback, negative criticism. And in doing so, I think rendered her statement useless to grifters, because they would have to either just lie or only show a very specific part of her statement. Otherwise, they would show that she specifically understands that it's not, because their whole narrative was that, if you didn't like The Acolyte, you're a racist. I literally made a video where I was making fun of that because I didn't really like The Acolyte that much. So I was like, I must be a racist. And yeah, so I don't know. Hopefully we'll see her pop up and do something else again, because I did recognize the skill of the show. I just, there's a lot of things to like about that show, but I just didn't love the end result, I suppose.
Yeah, I think the problem with The Acolyte for me was that, like, the episodes were too long and the show was too short.
True. Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Well, there was a lot of wheel spinning going on, it seemed like.
Yeah.
Anyway, but on top of that, just the lore thing is that that was revealed in that interview, that it would have been revealed in a season 2, that Khmer, the stranger, the villain of the show, went on to become the guy who founded the Knights of Ren, that later on Kylo Ren joined. So that there's some lore there. Maybe they'll do that in something else, but who knows? He really does.
He really, really does. And he always kind of has, right?
I mean, he has been. He's literally been one, kind of like. And when it comes to Back to the Future Part 2, he's been a
true
villain. Yeah. So, all right, I'm gonna play this thing on the way out the door. You guys hit like and subscribe if you're not subscribed. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you don't like what we have to say, that's okay.
Downvote us. It'll teach us.
And
comment as well. You should comment.
What's that?
I said if they don't like us, they should downvote and they should comment as well.
Downvote, comment, let us know, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then maybe take a step back and learn how social media algorithms work, and realize that the things that you don't like, if you're engaging with it, you're helping it.
You're helping it. Also, always praise Bell and free Palestine.
Indeed. Yeah, you guys are lovely. You know, just lovely. I love you, but in like a completely. You know what? I'm getting out of here. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
out his facade, cause I'm so eager to identify with someone above the ground. Someone who seemed to feel the same. Someone prepared to lead the way. Someone who would die for me. Will you now? Would you die for me? Don't you fucking lie. Don't you step out of line. Don't you step out of line. Don't you step out of line. Don't you fucking lie. Bye-bye.